Well, parents, I did a video a few months ago about the situation at UC San Diego. And you can go back and look in the playlist for that one under parent videos for parents or for the admissions process. I'm sure you'll find it. And we talked about how it was found that students went to UC San Diego and other UCs later are very, very much behind in their math performance. So far behind, they couldn't do very basic elementary, middle school math problems like 7 plus 2 equals blank plus 4. They couldn't do simple fraction problems or do simple word problems. And that's because our high schools have failed us. Inner city high schools have failed us, teaching everything but what they should teach, worried about equity, and these kids can't do math. Now, how did they get in UC? They had high grades, which tells me there's gradeflation. That an A really doesn't mean an A, and a B doesn't mean a B. But I'm going to do a video on that probably tomorrow, where I talk to people talking about how UC, rather than bringing back the SAT to solve this problem in admissions, should use the assessment test, called the Smart Balance test. We'll talk about that. But today, what I want to talk about is a few articles that have been written. I want to bring you up to speed since that study from UC San Diego came out. I have a few articles I'd like to show you. So, the problems with students not knowing how to do math has led us to a situation as shown in this article here. Hundreds of UC faculty, have called for reinstatement of the SAT require or ACT for STEM applicants. Notice it says only STEM applicants. Okay, this is on May 28th. It's been a couple months now, but that was right after that problem, and it refers to in this article what they found at UC San Diego. And let's read a little bit of this. Again, I'll include a link to this article below. Please read these articles, parents, if you want to have the updated information, because there's a lot of misinformation being said about this. More than 600 faculty, by the way, it became 800, called on the university to reinstate standardized testing for undergraduate STEM applicants. STEM means science, technology, engineering, and math, in case you didn't know. So that would be engineering, applied math uh, majors, physics majors, computer science majors, biology pre-med majors. These are all STEM applicants, okay? Alleging they're not prepared enough for coursework. And I'm sure they're thinking about that UC San Diego thing. The faculty signed on to a letter, and you can click here and get a copy of the letter, asking the Board of Regents and the USC Office of the President of Academic Leadership to require undergraduate STEM applicants to submit an ACT or SAT math score. Now you're going to find out later that those bodies have to just then turn it into another body that I think will never approve it. We'll talk about that. So during COVID, it says they stopped doing it. And it isn't that happened during the pandemic, but the decision was made by the judge for other reasons. But for whatever the reasons, they dropped the SAT, which many people believe that's led to subpar math performance. Okay? Several UC faculty signed a letter indicated Muriel Bank, interim chair of the mathematics department at UCLA. This is a UCLA article, by the way, Daily Bruin. So you can look through the article, but you'll see the concern was that professors are saying these students don't know how to do math. Okay? Uh, this is the whole thing here. The plaintiffs alleged, however, a lawsuit filed in 2019, see, it wasn't a pandemic, by students, community, and organizations, and the Compton Unified District changed the timeline. The plaintiffs alleged, look at this, that the UC's use of SAT and ACT scores in admissions put students of color, students with disabilities, and low income students at disadvantage. Oh my. Always trying to help out the poor little black kids, huh? Hey, look, I think there should be admission standards with our UC. Our UCs are prestigious, and they used to be very selective schools. But if a student can't do math, they can't do math. Okay? Though the UC voted in May 2020 to make the exam optional for 2 years, a court order, you see it's different, forced it to stop considering standardized testing altogether while the suit was ongoing. The UC agreed in May 2021 settlement to eliminate the SAT and AC from its review process until fall of 2025. Students may still submit scores to fulfill requirements, does not consider. Okay, so basically, we're in a no test situation with UC. Okay? Now, the faculty wants to reinstate the SAT to prove the quality of the applicants says kids to get into their classes. When the teachers are telling you that, it's telling you something. All right? And then you have over here, my goodness, UC professors cite May 28th, severe math deficits in call for return of the SAT. It wasn't just that these people were wanting to be racist. It's just they're looking at students in their class, they can't do math. And that's hurting those students no matter what color they are. Again, I'll include all these links to the article in below, right? Then here, I think, let's see, where is that other article? I'll just tell you if I don't have it. Oh, I know where it is. It's right here. Look at this. Test blind admissions is a failed experience, says non-STEM professors. So now you have 1,200 to 1,300 UC professors that say they can't write or do math. The writing and reading skills coming out of high school. This has all happened since the pandemic, where students learned at home, I guess. But it could be just this is the situation, what's coming out of our high schools. More than 1,400 STEM faculty signed a petition. So it got up to 1,400 from 600 and 800, right? And now then there are a bunch of non-STEM professors that have come together and said that you can read this article. They don't say how many, but I think it's a significant amount. So now you have close to 2,000 UC professors wanting to bring back some form of testing. That should be good enough to cause it to happen, but I'm telling you, it's not as easy as that seems. All these articles I show you are going to be included in the description block below. Okay, well, then you get people come along and saying, well, the Smarter Balanced exam, which is a test that 11th graders take on their subjects, would be good to use. But I did some checking around. Those scores are very low for minority students, which will point out the gradeflation problem. People that suggest this don't understand that A is no longer A anymore. So if these kids got into UC, they must have had high grades. They couldn't do math. I think the Smartest Balanced exam could expose gradeflation, because they'll find out the kids don't have great SBAC scores either. But yet they got A's and got into UCLA. It's some very naive people that are recommending this. You can look through this article. It's actually very interesting. University of California, at least here's the summary, will explore whether to add a standardized exam as part of the process. Some faculty complain that too many students are unprepared for college level math and writing, as you saw. In addition, possibly reinstating the SAT and ACT, UC is considering a second option. Listen closely. Using Smarter Balanced exams, the annual math and English tests given to 11th graders in public schools. Proponents say that the Smarter Balanced tests are better because they're aligned with the state curriculum. Okay? But I feel like black and brown students will score lower anyway. So how's it going to help them with admissions? It'll just point out student got A's in math but couldn't do math. You can read this article too. It's a pretty good one. Very interesting. Now it brings up the concept of the Boers Committee, okay, which is the working group of high-level professors in UC who look at requirements. All that is likely to be weighed by Boers, which is convening a faculty work group to explore the issue. Listen, The group will meet monthly beginning in October and submit a final recommendation. Listen when the recommendation is coming. May 2027. That's why I said this year's students are safe. They come in fall. That would probably be changed for 2028 students, I would say. The committee will consist mostly of faculty, include additional UC staff, as well as representatives from Cal State Board of Education. Okay, we want to make sure that before major decision is made around standardized testing, we get it right. Okay, that's good. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so you can take a look at that article as well. And then there's the letter that was written by the UC, actually by the Academic Senate. And you can read through it. They talk about initiating a study to see that study we just talked about, right? Academic Senate Chair Ahmet Palazoglu, I guess it is, charged boards, which is that group I told you about that considers academic standards like this, on March 16, 2026, with developing a roadmap to identify ways UC can improve admissions. That's that report, not due till 27. And they said they're going to look at it all, but guess who makes the decision? It's the same people that got rid of the test, the Board of Regents. It becomes a political thing there, right? It becomes political in that nobody's going to want to put more requirements on Black and brown students. It becomes a political issue. Any proposed changes to undergraduate admissions requirements or policies ultimately require approval by the UC Board of Regents. So the UC Board of Regents is really going to have to make the decision. And they're not going to make it totally based on what's best for the students. I just know it. You know, they're going to make it, May 27, yeah, they'll make it based on the politics of the 28 elections at that point. You need to understand there's a lot of, hatred of the Trump administration going into this too. You know, probably they'd want them to reconsider to not discontinue testing for race reasons. So I mean, it's going to be a struggle. I don't think Board of Regents is going to make a move, but I thought I'd show you that last sentence. And that last sentence is ominous. It requires approval by the Board of Regents. So no matter what all these professors decide, it's the Board of Regents that is going to make the decision as far as this. Now, I'll include a copy of that letter and link in the description block below. But I wanted to bring you up to date on where we are on the UC testing required. Looks like it's going to be on for your 12th grader rising. And the question is, will it be on for your 11th grader rising? I would say probably it's going to be the same way it is now for a while, meaning the SAT is not going to be required for UC and CSU. Now, they might still take prep or take the SAT, but it might be because of other schools that have some kind of scholarship requirement. Thank you very much. Would you click like and subscribe if you want to get videos like this and you like what you heard here? I'll be doing a lot of videos now this summer that we're in the admission season, and you want to stay up to speed on any changes that come as a result of that. God bless you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye now.